Okay, so in the last video, um, we have seen how to use tracker to get the points. So next, in this video, we are going to see how could we do the analysis of those data by using the Excel. Alright, so we understand that there's two mass point, mass A and mass B. Okay, for mass A is about the flying path of the basketball. So you got all the data in this table, alright, and you want to copy all of them, so just copy the values. Okay, just copy the values, alright, and you use Ctrl C to copy them. Okay, then you move to Excel, right? You add all these values, and all these values are for mass A, which is the basketball. Okay, so you might want to change this into basketball. Okay. And also you will have a basket. Okay, the position of baskets, if you remember that. Right, so let's go back to the tracker. So let's move to mass B. Okay, so that's mass B is the coordinate of the tracker. Okay, let's copy these points. Let's copy paste. Okay, so that's mass B. Let's change the name into basket. Alright. Okay, so you see all these values, they are in scientific notations. We don't really want to use scientific notations. Okay, so we just highlight them and we change the format. You right click. Okay, so let's see. Oh, sorry, I think I should do the format. Okay, format cells. Okay, right here, we click the format cells. Okay, so you see the numbers. Okay, in 2 decimal places, and that will be good enough for us. Okay, so here we got all the points. Okay, and alright, then we highlight the first 2 rows for basketball. Now we are going to create a graph for the flying path of the basketball. Alright, so by doing so, you need to go to insert. Okay, go to insert. So you see here there are all sorts of graph. You select that scatter XY graph. Okay, you select this graph, right, and you see something like this. Okay, and you want to make it bigger. Alright. Okay, so the next thing is you want to just get the equation of this graph. Okay, get the equation of this graph. How could you do that? Alright, so first you want to change that the title of the graph. Okay, so you might want to change it. Okay, you just double click. Okay, so that's the what we call the projectile. Okay. Okay, so it's the path, projectile path of the basketball. Okay, and next, okay, you want to go to here. So axis. Okay, you want to label them. Okay, and here, axis title. Okay, you just click. Okay, and just change the axis title right here, which is Y, and which this one is X. Okay, and you move on to the next one. Okay, the chart title, we got it. Okay, and the data label, which show you the y coordinates. Possibly you want to have that. Alright, so just click that. You got the data values. Okay. Okay, legend, we don't need to use that. Okay, trend line. Okay, so you go to, so for the trend line you need to select the option. Okay, so you see a lot of options, and you go to more options. Okay, for more options, okay, first you go to the first one. Okay, so what kind of line are you choosing? You're choosing, if you choose solid line, just click, and the color, possibly you want the right color. Alright, and okay, and now you see the line is in a dash form, and you want to change it into solid line. Okay, so that's it. And so the problem here, you see that the line does not fit the points, right? It's a straight line, but it seems our points looks more like a curve. It's like a quadratic curve. Okay, so you go to the trend line options here. So you see there are different choices here. So the default for the Excel will be linear. Okay, but we're not going to use linear. You're going to use polynomial of order 2. Okay, so that's polynomial order 2. Polynomial of order 2 is just quadratic. So you see the line fits perfectly, right? Okay, then that's good. Alright, and you just go to here. You want to display the equation because we need that equation for our assignment, and also you want to display the r square value. So just click. Okay, so now you will see the equation there. So I might need to zoom in to have a look. Okay, so you see the equation, which is y equals something like x squared plus something times x plus a constant. So it's a general form for the quadratic equation. And how about the r square value? Okay, so r square value means how fit that the quadratic graph is for the data. So you see this number, when this number comes very close to 1, then that means the model fits quite good. Okay, fits quite well in this case. So you see the fitting is nearly perfect because the maximum value you could get for r square is 1. So 0.9998 is very close to 1. So that means this one should be a quadratic model. Okay, so that's it. Now you got the graph and you got r square value. Alright, and okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, let's go back to our data. Right, so here you got the graph, and but how can we know whether this quadratic model could fit? How could we know that the basketball will finally go into the basket? Alright, so still remember we got the coordinates of that basket. Okay, that means the hoop. Okay, so that's the position of the basket. Okay, how do we know whether that basketball will finally fall into the basket? So you got two coordinates right here, right? Okay, so we can do it in this way. So if you want to use Excel, you might go to the equation again. You copy that equation. Okay, remember if you copy that. Alright. Okay. And next, you want to create a new cell called prediction. So prediction on whether the basket ball will fall into the basket. Okay, let's move here. Okay, so you put the x value and your y value. So what's the x value here? So the x value would be just 3.88. Alright, so and you just say, okay, so let's put this value here, right? But how could we know that's whether the y value will be 2.7? Okay, so you need to use that formula to track, that's a projectile model, to track whether that x value will give you the y values of the basket, right? Okay, so here let me introduce one way to get the values automatically. Okay, so let's zoom in here a little bit. Alright, so let's here. Okay, so okay, you have a plus equal sign here, and you see in here in the formula bar there's an equal sign, and you just copy that formula right here. Okay, so you can see. Alright, so now we need to change that. So that's x2 means the x value. Okay, so what's the x value here? So in the cell of A28. Okay, so you replace that x with A28. So that just be the number here, 3.88. And that's choose the power, so in the power you need to put that. Okay, and remember you want to have a multiplication sign here. For the Excel, the multiplication sign, you use this symbol, right? The same thing should happen here. Use this symbol, and you put that, you replace that x again with that x value. Okay, you just click on x value, it will show here automatically. Okay, and then you enter. Oh, okay, so what happens here? Okay, so I possibly have to change that format. Okay, because the format need to change back to numbers. Oh, sorry, something wrong with my definition. Okay, sorry, there's some errors here. So just equals no y. Okay, so you got 2.49. Okay, so when according to your model here, if you use that formula, and the y value will be 2.49, but for the basket, the position is for y coordinates should be 2.70. Okay, so that means what? So the conclusion is the basket won't fall into that basket, right? Okay, so that's the conclusion of it. Okay, hope you have learned something from my video. Okay, see you next time.